Welcome to the Wealthy Woman's Podcast, a podcast for high-achieving women who are great at making money but struggle to build wealth. You'll learn how to take control of your money, increase your net worth, and make more. Ladies, it's time to create a life with more money and more freedom. Let's dive in. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. This week, we are going to talk about how to avoid overspending during the holiday season. And as I was preparing for this podcast, I had a brilliant idea that I'm so excited to share with you all. So I was working on the podcast, coming up with the concepts, and then I thought, oh my gosh, what if I hosted a Zoom session where people can just log on to Zoom and get help creating their holiday spending plan? And I was like, yep, let's do it. So I'm so excited to announce that on Wednesday, November 15th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can join me on Zoom so that you can create your holiday spending plan. I will help you personally create your holiday spending plan. If you show up, sign up, show up, raise your hand, I will help you come up with your spending plan for the holiday season so that you can end 2023 on a high note and begin 2024 on an even higher note, just feeling proud of yourself, not feeling like you overspent, not waking up feeling guilty, not waking up trying to figure out how you're going to dig yourself out of a hole. I want you to start your new year feeling proud, happy, peaceful around money instead of stressed out and regretful. So if you are interested in joining me for that, all you got to do is go to the show notes and sign up. It's free. It's fun. It's going to be super valuable to anyone who's ever had trouble staying on task, I should say, during the holiday season when it comes to spending. So that's all you have to do is go to the show notes and sign up. Okay, let's get into our episode for today. So I was doing some research and I found out that for 2023, the National Retail Federation is anticipating that Americans will spend between $932 to $1,500 on the holiday season. So 932 was on the low end, but as I kept researching, I saw a figure of $1,500. And so to me, there's nothing wrong with spending this amount of money as long as you do it intentionally and as long as it's not going to set you up to have to deal with negative financial consequences on the back end. If this is something that is easy for you to do, you won't have to stretch, you won't have to go into debt, you won't feel financially strapped afterwards, then go ahead, spend it. But for those of you who are like, I don't know how much I should be spending. I don't know if, I should stick with the average or if I need to come up with what works for me. And I will tell you that the latter is true. Come up with what works for you. The amount of money is not really that important. How much you spend is really not that important. It's if you're doing it intentionally, if you're doing it in a way that feels good to you, and if you're doing it in a way that is out of love for you today and for your future self. I know a lot of times, and I'm going to touch on this in a minute, but a lot of times when we're spending, we're doing it out of love for others. We want everybody else to be happy and we want everybody else to feel a certain way. But we put ourselves in financial hardships trying to do it. So I want you to kind of flip the script a little bit and spend out of love for you today and in the future, right? We don't want to set our future selves up to have to deal with negative financial consequences for things that people maybe felt joyful about in the moment, but a few minutes later, they forgot all about it. Like if you really think about it, when you give a person a gift, a physical material gift, they may be happy for 24 hours, if that, and then they're on to the next. But you are dealing with the financial consequences of it all. So this episode is all about you getting clear on the true meaning of the season for you, allowing yourself to put you at the top of the list, And that just means that you're not going to spend at your expense. You're not going to spend in a way that doesn't feel good to you and that will put you in financial hardships at the end of the year. Okay, so there are 6 different steps you can take to avoid overspending during the holidays. And let's get to them. Number 1, remember the true meaning of the season. For some of us, it is a spiritual, religious holiday. Remember that. For others, it's not. And for almost everyone, I would say it really is about family, friends, gratitude, togetherness, and love. All of these things, if you think about it, the family, the friends, the gratitude, the togetherness, the love, most all of these things don't cost a lot of money. And that doesn't mean you won't choose to spend money, but the goal is to spend with the real reason for the season in mind. To be close to your family, to be close to your friends, to express thankfulness and gratitude for all of your blessings, to be together and to exude love. But I want to make sure that you're not just loving on other people, but also love on yourself. Okay? And so number 2 is, now that you can kind of reconnect to the true meaning of the season, if you're up for it, make a commitment that you will not overspend, right? Just make that commitment to yourself out of love for who you are today and for who you want to become. You want to become a woman who is in control of her money. You want to become a woman who knows how to spend intentionally. You want to become wealthy. And that is a characteristic of a wealthy woman. Like, she spends intentionally. She makes money, she keeps money, she invests money, and she spends money. But when she spends, she does it in a way that is intentional and that does not cause her to have financial hardships. She spends from a place of knowing that if she spends this money, things are still great. Like, she doesn't have to worry about the negative consequences of it all. So when you make this commitment, make it from a place of love, not from a place of punishment, not from a place of, I'm bad with money, so I have to put myself on this strict budget. No, that is not the place we want to make this commitment from. We want to make it from a place of abundance, a place of love, a place from, I'm going to be wealthy, and this is me doing what wealthy women do. So make a commitment that you will not overspend this season. And remember, the definition of overspending is to spend more than you want to or plan to spend. So the amount is not fixed. Remember, we talked about what the average American is going to spend. Like, yours could be above the average and you're not overspending, or it could be below the average and you're not overspending. So you have to decide what works for you. And remember, I can help you with that on November 15th on Zoom at 7:30 p.m. I'm helping anybody who wants help coming up with their holiday spending game plan. Just join that Zoom session. You can sign up using the link in the show notes, okay? So I just want to offer that you can literally draw a line in the sand, and no matter how you've behaved in the past or during prior holiday seasons, out of love for your current and future self, you can just decide that I'm not doing that this year. And it doesn't mean that you are being a Scrooge or that you are being cheap or that you're putting yourself on a strict budget. It doesn't mean any of that. It just simply means you're stepping into your power and you are just deciding that this is a new beginning for you. And all you have to do is make a vow to yourself and do it from a place of love that this year will not be the year that I overspend. Even if you've done it for years and years and years, today you can make that decision that this year will be different. And of course, you can still have that family time, that friend time, express that gratitude, the togetherness, and of course, love for others. Number 3 is to anchor into your why. Why are you choosing to not overspend this year? And I want you to get a little emotional about it, not just logical, because logically, it's obvious. Oh, because I want to have more money, because I want to start 2024 off on a better footing financially. I don't want to go into debt. I want to have more money in my bank account. All of those things are like the logical reasons. But really, when we make decisions, a lot of times it's emotional. We have to tap into that emotional piece. And so let's think about how you will feel if you wake up after the season is over and you're like, oh my God, I did it. I spent exactly the amount I wanted to spend. I still have money in the bank. I didn't spend everything. I didn't go too deep into debt. And if you did go into debt, I did it by choice, and I know I've got it taken care of. How would you feel? I would feel proud. I would feel confident, like I'm on my way. I will feel in control. I will feel peaceful. So tap into the why. Like, I want to wake up. I'm doing this because I want to wake up on New Year's Day and I want to feel proud of myself. I don't want to feel like I have a financial hangover. I don't want to feel like now I got to clean this mess up I just made. I don't want to feel like I have to dig myself out of a hole. I want to feel like I'm a badass. I did that. I had an amazing holiday season. I spent the exact amount of money that I wanted to spend, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. And I feel so proud of myself. I feel unstoppable. I feel like 2024 is going to be my year, all because I decided to end 2023 on a high note. And it started with a decision. So tap into that why. Feel that emotion because you're going to need it when you want to veer off from your plan. I'm going to tell you how you can create your plan next. But remember, you have a primitive brain. Go to episode 7 if you want to learn how your brain plays into how you handle your money. Episode 7, the battle between your brain and your bank account. I talk all about it there. But remember, you have a primitive brain who is all about habits. And if you've been in the habit of overspending for years during the holiday season, it's going to want to continue in that habit loop. But you've got to put your prefrontal cortex in charge, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But one of the ways to really help you with that is to have that why that you can always refer back to. Like, no, I want to wake up on January 1st feeling proud of myself. I don't want to have a financial hangover. I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel free. I want to feel confident and in control and unstoppable. That is what I'm choosing. And even as I say it, I just feel good inside. And I need you to tap into that too, because that is what's going to anchor you. That is what's going to keep you going when you want to veer off your plan. Okay. Number 4, decide how much you want to spend overall ahead of time. Because here's what we're doing when we do that. When we decide ahead of time, we're putting our prefrontal cortex in charge of our money. We're putting our adult brain in charge of our money instead of letting the toddler brain be in control. Remember, the primitive brain is all about staying in your habitual comfort zone. And you do that by always seeking pleasure, doing what you've always done before, and not really exerting a whole lot of energy. So it's going to take energy to come up with a plan, right? And your primitive brain is going to be like, oh, we don't need a plan. Let's just spend, right? And we know where that will get us. Your primitive brain also wants to seek pleasure. It wants to get the dopamine hits of just buying a bunch of things. And sometimes, and this is especially for me, I will do really, really good November through the last couple of days before Christmas. And then those last 2 days, I just will go on a shopping spree because my brain is wanting that pleasure. But remember, you could just be onto yourself and you could say, okay, I know that I'm going to want to overspend during those last couple of days, and I'm onto myself and I've got a game plan for that. So put your prefrontal cortex in charge and decide how much you want to spend. So think about the holidays that matter to you. So if it's Thanksgiving, think about that. How much are you going to spend? Are you hosting or not? That will make a big difference. So I am hosting Thanksgiving. So my Thanksgiving budget might be bigger than yours if you're just going to go somewhere and bring a dish. And then think about Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all of those holidays. If you celebrate those, how much overall you want to spend. Just overall. We're not going to break it down just yet. Just think about it. Is it the $930 some dollars? Is it less than that? Is it more than that? Decide intentionally. What about New Year's? If you are going out, do you need a hotel? Are you traveling? Do you need a new dress? I shouldn't say need a new dress, but are you planning to buy a new dress, or do you have something in your closet? This is a great time to make those decisions, right? Using your prefrontal cortex. See, my primitive brain already went to, do you need a new dress? But the truth is, we probably don't. We probably have plenty of dresses that we can let out the closet and make a debut. Maybe even an encore. Like, it's okay if you've worn something before, you can wear it again. And then once you come up with those amounts, I would say give yourself a nice 15% cushion. So add 15% to your overall amount. And then here are some tips on deciding the amount. Think about the money you have coming in. Think about the money you may or may not have saved, and come up with a number and just add 15% to that. Sometimes we want to think about all the things we want to do and then we come up with a number from there. But I want you to come up with a number based on where you are financially. If you have money saved, do you want to use a portion of the savings? If you don't, okay, how much of your paychecks leading up to the season are you willing to spend on the holidays? Just think about that. And then add about 15% because the thing is, you're probably going to forget some things and you want a little cushion there. So think about Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and the New Year, and just come up with a number at 15%. And that is your number for the holiday season. Commit to that number, look at that number, fall in love with that number, and say, this is it. This is my number. Whatever it is, it's okay. So number 5 would then be to make a list and check it twice. So now that you've got your number, you say, okay, for Thanksgiving, I'm spending this much. And when you think about Thanksgiving, I want you to think about whether you're hosting dinner or not, if you're traveling, and then also if you're going to participate in Black Friday. You can put Black Friday under Thanksgiving or Christmas, however you want to do it. But just think about that. If you were like, I know I'm going to want to go out and shop on Black Friday, make sure you give yourself an amount that you're going to spend. And then when you think about Christmas and other holidays, think about, okay, dinner, am I hosting it? Am I bringing a dish? Do I want to refresh my decor? Holiday activities, are you going to parties? Are you going to do gift exchanges or participate in gift exchanges? Do you have people to buy for? Make a list of everyone you want to buy for and give them an amount. But remember, all of this needs to fit in to your predetermined amount. I know sometimes we rather look at all that we want to buy and then create the amount that we want to spend. But I am challenging you to first decide on the amount that you are comfortable spending, add 15% to that, and then from there, decide what you're going to spend it on instead of deciding everything you want to spend and then creating a number from that. Like, let's be a little bit more intentional about that by creating the overall number first. So from that overall number, how much are you going to spend on Thanksgiving? How much are you going to spend on Christmas? Think about all of the festivities, the people, the parties, all of that. And then think about the New Year's. If you're going to go out on New Year's Eve, if you're going to host a party at your home, if you're traveling, if you're going to somewhere where you need to buy tickets, think about all of those things and just let yourself decide, okay, this is how I want to spend. This is who I'm buying for. And remember, you've got that 15% cushion just in case you forgot something. Okay, so last but not least is number 6. Expect that you'll want to overspend and come up with a game plan ahead of time. So listen, your primitive brain is going to want to overspend. Remember, I told you for me, it's usually the last few days before Christmas. Like, I will do great up until that time. And then it's just like, I just let loose and like, oh, this and this and this and that. And I forgot this and I forgot that. I'm on to myself now. So I have to have a game plan for that. And I have to be anticipating it so that when it comes, I already know then I'm not giving into it. So for you, think about the fact that you're going to want to veer off from your plan. Okay. And here are some strategies you can use so that you don't do it. So I'm going to give you some mindset strategies, which are the most powerful ones, but also some action steps you can take. So let's start with the action. So the actions you can take is to get a prepaid Visa card. So let's say your overall amount that you want to spend on the holidays, let's say you went with $1,200. You can literally go to like a credit union or a bank and just put $1,200 on a prepaid Visa. And when the money is gone, the money is gone. Like you could literally make that pact with yourself. Like you can make it that simple. Or you could use cash. Using cash is powerful because psychologically our brains feel pain when we give away cash. Like when we hand over cash to a cashier, it registers much differently than when we hand over a card. So as you go out shopping, if you choose to go out, many of us do a lot of online shopping. I do understand that. But if you choose to go out, maybe you put some cash in your purse and just decide this is the amount I'm going to spend today, no more, but it's within the amount you already decided upon. Another thing you can do is to set spending limit alerts with your debit card or your credit card. That way, if you spend over a certain amount of money, then your bank will alert you. And that could just be a nice little reminder of, hey, you're overspending. You might be trending towards overspending. Okay, you could set it at a couple $100s or whatever amount, but that could be a nice little reminder for you to check in and make sure you're on track. And the final action step is to implement what I call the sleep on it rule. So if you find yourself about to buy something that you really weren't planning to buy, you can kind of make a deal with yourself and say, hey, I'm not going to buy it now. I'm going to sleep on it and then make a decision. And then I suggest you sleep on it for at least 48 hours. And then if after 48 hours you still want the item, then guess what? You can go back and get it. But typically you don't want it. And this strategy has saved me so much money. And I think it'll save you a ton of money as well. And here's why it works. It works because when you want something in a moment that you weren't planning to purchase, that is your primitive brain. That is the part of you that is all about seeking pleasure. But when you put time and space in between wanting something and actually buying something, you actually give your prefrontal cortex an opportunity to get back in control and to make a sound, logical decision. And when you put that 48 hours in between wanting it and buying it, you're giving your prefrontal cortex a chance to get back in control. Okay, so that is a great way. Now, here are some mindset strategies. The sleep on it rule to me is also kind of action and mindset because it's putting your prefrontal cortex back in charge. So I have that under mindset as well. So the sleep on it rule to me is super powerful. And then the other strategy with mindset is to play it all the way through. So you might be in a mode of about to overspend and you can play it all the way through. Play it all the way through to January 1st and you've overspent and you have more debt than you want and your bank account is not as plentiful as you want it to be. How will you feel? So like play it all the way through. Is it worth it? Let your brain go there. That is a strategy that works a lot too because it will calm you down because you're on a high. You're like feeling the anticipation of buying and the dopamine is kicking in. But if you allow yourself to stop and breathe and have this game plan in place and play it all the way through, you'll be like, nah, that won't be worth it. And that can really help you stay on track. And then the final mindset strategy you can use is to have a phrase that you will tell yourself when you're on the verge of veering off your plan or overspending. You can literally say something like, I'm not doing it this year. Nope, not this year. It could be that simple. Something you say to yourself that will keep you on track. So come up with something that resonates with you. For me, not this year. I'm not doing it this year. That really resonates with me, but something else may resonate with you. So come up with that phrase or that sentence you will tell yourself, maybe even something you'll write out every morning during the holiday season. Like, this season is different. I'm not doing it this year. And I'm still going to have a good time. I'm still going to participate. I'm still going to be with my family. I'm still going to be with my friends. I'm still going to show love and gratitude, and I'm going to experience that togetherness. But I do not have to put myself in financial harm's way in order to do it. I hope this episode was helpful for you. And if you want help coming up with your holiday spending game plan, then go to the show notes, sign up for the Zoom session that I'm going to host on Wednesday, November 15th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everyone is welcome. Just join the Zoom and I will be there to help you come up with your game plan. And if you're having any mindset blocks, or you're feeling guilty that you're not willing to spend like you used to, I will help you through all of that. Just come and get the help that you need. I will be there for you 100%. All right. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, before you go, if you're ready to create a life with more money and more freedom, then you're invited to join the Wealthy Woman's Academy, my signature coaching program where you'll learn how to take control of your money and build wealth without sacrificing your lifestyle. To get started, head on over to jermainefoley.com/WWA. That's Jermaine with a G. See you over there. Bye-bye.